Everyone knew Marcus Stone. Not the way they knew random celebrities or influencers. They knew him like you know something that's infiltrated your bloodstream. He was everywhere: Instagram, billboards, the cover of fitness magazines with his perfect abs and his perfect teeth and his perfect life story. From foster care to six-figure income. One man. One dream. One obsession. The narrative was intoxicating. Marcus was the guy who'd clawed his way out of nothing and built himself into a commodity. A walking advertisement for transformation. He trained celebrities, CEOs, Instagram models. His waiting list was 6 months long. His rate was $250 an hour, and people paid it without blinking. I first saw him at Equilibrium, the high-end gym in Tribeca where the elite trained in climate-controlled luxury. I wasn't supposed to be there. I worked the front desk at a gym in Astoria, a sweaty, unglamorous place where people actually had to earn their fitness. But my friend Nadia was in town, and her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend had a platinum membership to burn. One afternoon, she dragged me there. Marcus was training someone in the glass studio, some hedge fund guy who was clearly suffering. Marcus stood beside him, shirtless, his body a sculpture of intention and discipline. Not naturally big. Earned big. The kind of muscles that whisper, "I've chosen this. I've suffered for this." He caught my eye. Not for long. Just long enough for me to feel seen and then forgotten. That hurt more than I wanted to admit. I was 23. Tall. The kind of beautiful that trades in mystery and angles rather than sweetness. I had the face of someone who'd survived things. My hair was black then, long enough to touch the small of my back. I wore it like a weapon. When Nadia went to use the bathroom, I did something I've regretted every day since. I found his Instagram. I started following him. I wrote a comment on his latest post, something witty about transformation and illusion. He liked it within minutes. That small heart icon changed everything. Marcus' wife, Veronica, was a pediatric surgeon. Accomplished. Beautiful in that composed, Ivy League way. They'd been married 4 years. No kids yet, they were waiting for the right time, according to an interview in a lifestyle magazine I read obsessively. She wore her hair in a severe bun. She smiled like she was performing the emotion rather than feeling it. I studied her the way a hunter studies prey. Marcus started DMing me within a week. Nothing inappropriate at first. Just questions about fitness. What's your current routine? What are your goals? I lied expertly. Told him I was a yoga instructor struggling with strength training. Sent him photos from better angles, in better light. He sent me a custom workout plan. Then an invitation to a discounted session. Friends and followers get 25% off first training, the message read. I booked immediately. The first session was theater. He was exactly as good as his reputation. Commanding, attentive, perfectly calibrated between encouragement and challenge. He corrected my form with his hands, and I made sure to react like his touch was electric. Because it was. Not because of him, but because I decided it should be. "You're stronger than you think," he said, his hands on my waist, adjusting my stance. "I'm stronger than I look," I corrected. He smiled. That too. I became a regular. 3 sessions a week at first, then 4. Then 5. I made progress that seemed almost too perfect, the kind of transformation that made great content. Marcus started featuring me in his social media stories. "This is what commitment looks like," he'd caption the videos. My follower count tripled in a month. His wife started coming to his gym more often. I'd see her in the lobby, designer gym bag, her surgeon's hands always checking her phone. She looked tired. Not happy tired. Not the exhaustion of someone building something. The tired of someone watching their life dissolve into a checklist. I made sure to always be warm to her. Disarmingly kind. I'd compliment her workouts, ask about her cases, act like I thought she was incredible. It was easy because I did think she was incredible. Incredible and completely inadequate for what Marcus needed. Or so I'd convinced myself. The affair started in a hotel room in Midtown. A Tuesday afternoon during his lunch break. We didn't even kiss at first, he just bent me over the desk and fucked me like he was trying to prove something. Afterward, he cried. Actually cried, tears running down his perfect face. I don't know what's happening to me, he whispered. I held him and said nothing, because I knew exactly what was happening. I was happening. I was the answer to a question he'd been asking his wife for 4 years. I was younger, hotter, uncomplicated. I didn't ask him to be anything except what he'd already built himself into. Marcus started making mistakes. Small ones at first. Coming home late. Shower immediately, new clothes, the smell of hotel soap overpowering the designer cologne. Veronica probably noticed. Smart women always do. They don't necessarily act on it, denial is a luxury, but they notice. I pushed him further. Sent him explicit photos. Called him on his personal phone at night. Asked him to leave her. He said he would, then didn't. He said he needed time, then that time disappeared into weeks, then months. I'm leaving next month, he promised between sessions, inside my studio apartment in Williamsburg where I'd made a nest of his infidelity. Next month became next quarter. Next quarter became never. The cracks appeared in his performance first. He missed training sessions. His Instagram updates became sporadic. The magazines stopped calling. His followers noticed, they always do, and started commenting things like, "Where's Marcus?" Marcus lost his edge, and the golden boy is tarnishing. Veronica hired a private investigator. I found out when Marcus showed up at my apartment, his face a mask of controlled panic. She knew everything. Dates, times, hotel receipts, photos from the detective's lens capturing us walking hand in hand through Soho like we were just another couple playing at love. She didn't confront him with rage. That was somehow worse. She confronted him with lawyers. Cold, surgical precision applied to the dissolution of their marriage. The prenup, and of course there was a prenup, was ironclad. She'd negotiated it herself before they married. Just in case, she'd apparently said, knowing something he didn't. Marcus lost the apartment. The townhouse in Brooklyn Heights. Half his business interests, including his stake in Equilibrium. His reputation shattered in ways that money couldn't repair. The magazines that had celebrated his rise published think pieces about his fall. The dark side of fitness culture. How Instagram's golden boy became a cautionary tale. His main clients fled. Why pay $250,000 an hour for a trainer who'd compromised his judgment so catastrophically? His brand became toxic. Influencers scrubbed him from their posts. Sponsors dropped contracts. Within 6 months, Marcus Stone went from Instagram royalty to a guy fighting for relevance in a saturated market. But the worst part, the part that really destroyed him, was that his ex-wife moved on seamlessly. She was engaged within a year to someone appropriately wealthy and appropriately loyal. She posted photos of her engagement ring, her wedding planning, her new life. Never once did she mention his name. He became the invisible man. I broke up with him on a Friday. No theatrics. No grand explanation. I just sent a text, "I'm done. Don't contact me again." He showed up at my apartment that night. Drunk. Desperate. I barely recognized him. His face was hollowed out. His perfect abs, the abs that had launched 1,000 transformations, were soft. He looked like a man who'd stopped believing in himself. "You said you loved me," he screamed. "You said we were going to build something." I stood behind the door, only my eye visible through the crack. "I lied." "Why?" His voice broke like glass. "Why would you do this to me?" And here's the thing about that moment, I actually considered answering. Considered telling him the truth, that I'd done it because I could. Because he was too perfect and too successful and too convinced of his own mythology. Because I wanted to know if he'd shatter, and he did. Because I was angry at every woman who thought a man like him was worth loving. Instead, I said, "Go home, Marcus." He didn't go home. He sat in the hallway for 6 hours. The neighbors complained. I called building security. They escorted him out. I watched from my window as he stumbled down the street, looking back at my building like it was the last place in the world that made sense. That was 3 years ago. Marcus is teaching classes at a midtown gym now. Not the same gym. Not the prestigious one. Just a regular gym where regular people pay regular rates. I see him occasionally on social media, a few followers posting about how he'd changed my life or, "My trainer is amazing." But it's different now. He's good but not legendary. Known but not legendary. His Instagram account, once a beacon of inspiration, now gets sporadic posts. No more perfect lighting. No more curated transformation stories. Just a man doing his job, showing up, collecting a check. I've thought about that night in the hallway more times than I care to admit. I've wondered if I should feel guilty. If I should reach out. If I should explain. But I don't. Not because I don't regret it, I do, in ways that surprise me. But because some things, once broken, aren't meant to be put back together. I made the hottest trainer cheat on his wife. I made him choose me over his entire constructed identity. And in doing so, I learned something about myself that I've spent 3 years trying to unlearn, that I'm capable of looking at someone's carefully built life and deciding it was worth destroying. He lost it all. His marriage, his status, his myth. But I lost something too. I lost the ability to see myself as a victim of circumstance. I had to see myself for what I actually was, a predator who'd hunted a man not because he deserved it, but because I could. That's harder to live with than his tears ever were.